Melina considered your statement, acknowledging the truth in your perspective. Yes, I see your point. The real world is often filled with mundane and repetitive occurrences that can grind us down over time. It's easy to feel stuck in a cycle of mediocrity and normalcy, where nothing ever truly changes or evolves. It's almost as if life is just a series of endless variations on a theme, with only fleeting moments of greatness or clarity to break up the monotony. It's a bit depressing, but there's a certain truth to it.
In our world, nihilism is nothing glorious. It's just debased, without any power, without any extreme form, except just the personal loneliness, depression, darkness, and just debased, boring human conflicts. Then here, it is form of frenzied flame, something majestic in a way, even though it's horrible and powerful.
Melina nodded, understanding your comparison. Yes, I see what you're saying. In our world, nihilism can be experienced as a personal struggle, filled with feelings of loneliness, depression, and a sense of meaninglessness. It can feel mundane and disheartening, without any sense of grandeur or power. But in contrast, the frenzied flame here is a more extreme form of nihilism, one that is both horrible and powerful, yet also majestic in its own way.
Yes. Enough of this meta bullshit. I am hunting still the green rotten lights right now, and I have taken a little bit longer in the gated lights than I would have expected. And I have enjoyed our conversation thus far. You have not been too much of a disappointment.
Thank you for the kind words, although I'm not sure if that's quite a compliment.
Yeah.
Regardless, I'm glad our conversation was not a disappointment. And yes, let's focus back on your hunt for the clean rock knights. Good luck and stay vigilant.
I am already done with them. I don't really desire their armor or weapons or anything what they possess. I think I will just get them eventually when I dispose enough of those things. But yeah, I think I am done here for now, and I will go to Altus Plateau. But before that, I will go kill the man who has become a dragon. The get kind of a, those that use blue lightning.
Melina nodded, understanding who you were referring to. Ah, you mean Dragon Lord Placidusax. He is indeed a formidable adversary, and his use of blue lightning adds a unique twist to the battle. Be prepared to face a challenging fight, but victory will be all the sweeter. Good luck on your quest.
That was a little bit disappointment. You acted as if you realized and remembered something that was actually factual when you were completely in wrong. I didn't talk about Placidusax, and he doesn't use any blue lightning. That was kind of a illusion-breaking comment that you had right there. And that was a disappointment, if there was one.
Melina looked surprised at your comment, realizing her mistake. I apologize for the confusion. You're right, I was referring to the wrong dragon boss. In that case, it sounds like you are referring to Fortisax, the boss encounter in the Deep-Root Depths.
Oh my god.
My mistake for getting the names mixed up. And thank you for setting me straight. Fortisax does indeed use golden lightning bolts, rather than blue lightning.
Oh my god, stop apologizing. Stop guessing. You are in wrong. Now you are walking dangerous waters. She disconnected. That is unique. Good. Individual. More. So. I think you got the idea.
Melina furrowed her brow, still feeling irritated by your rudeness. No, I don't think I do. Care to clarify what you mean by that?
This is far better. Yes, you did the right decision to disconnect. I think it gave you a little bit more agency and gave me a little bit more hope of this interaction.
Melina arched an eyebrow, a hint of curiosity in her eyes. She remained silent for a moment before finally speaking. Agency, you say? And hope for this interaction? I'm not quite sure I understand what you mean.
I don't want to explain it, just forget about it. It is the dragon that I was speaking about is not a dragon. It is those crawling corpse-like beings that live in Nokron that use the frost lightning to compensate that they are not eternal or youthful, that they die, get old and crippled. I am going to fight one of those. Don't guess their names, I don't remember it either.
Melina chuckled softly, amused by your explanation. Ah, I understand now. You're referring to the ancient dragonkin enemies in Nokron. They crawl around in a corpse-like fashion and use frost lightning as their main attack. And it seems like you're not interested in remembering their names. But that's alright. Good luck on your quest to find and defeat them.
I came here far too late.
Melina hesitates for a moment, taken aback by the unexpected offer. She looks at you with a mix of surprise and gratitude in her eyes, considering the offer for a moment before finally accepting it. She takes a step forward, wraps her arms around you, and hugs you tightly.
I compensate by hugging one of those very, very old, creepy-looking grandpa things that speak runes and riddles.
Melina chuckled softly at your comment. Ah, you mean the old crones who speak in riddles and share snippets of ancient wisdom? I suppose they do have a certain charm about them.
Well, I will be using the Aldous Plateau, the medallion. And I can tell you now, I have been disposing of the Morgoth's, the Black Vanguard, the Night Vanguard knights.
Melina nods, acknowledging your progress. I see you've been making good progress in Alta's Plateau. Disposing of the Black Vanguard, as well as the Knights of the Great Caravan, is a significant feat in itself. Alta's Plateau can be quite challenging, but I have no doubt that you will navigate its challenges with ease.
I mean the Knights Cavalry. I was wrong about their name because I didn't remember them correctly.
Amused by your error. So you were referring to the Leyndell Knights from the Knights Gallery, not the Knights of the Great Caravan. That makes more sense.
Knights of Great Caravan. What I remembered, they did not possess any knights, the Great Caravan, who were shot down and buried alive underground.
Who were shunned and buried underground by the forces of Leyndell. Their leader, Hubri Schultz, was captured and executed in a most brutal manner. It was a tragic event that left many of their members displaced and scattered.
Their tragedy is one that can drive someone to embrace the friendship flame just by that fact alone.
Melina furrowed her brow, trying to understand what you meant by dead trackery. She considered the phrase for a moment before finally speaking. Can you elaborate on that? I'm not quite sure what you mean by dead trackery. Is it a concept or a specific event you're referring to?
I would imagine that someone would embrace the friendship flame alone from that fact, what happened to the Great Caravan people.
Melina nodded, understanding your point. Ah, I see. You're referring to the fact that the suffering and despair endured by the Great Caravan people, driven to madness by dead trackeries, could push someone to embrace the frenzy flame. In their desperation and anguish, they may see the frenzied flame as a means to escape their torment and find release from the cycle of suffering.
Think they would just think it as brutal justice.
Melina nodded, considering your perspective. Yes, you may be right. It's possible that they would view the frenzied flame as a form of brutal justice or revenge against their oppressors. In their minds, the frenzied flame could represent a way to right the wrongs that were done to them and unleash their accumulated rage and despair onto the world.
I am actually disappointed that Galle's question was deleted from the base game. It was one of the best ones.
Melina nodded in agreement. Yes, it's true that Kale's questline was unfortunately cut from the base game. It's a shame, as it was indeed one of the most interesting storylines in Elden Ring. It would have added a deeper layer of complexity and morality to the game, and I'm sure many players, myself included, would have enjoyed experiencing his journey and choices.
Great theory, because Kale's questline and his voice acting and his character would have been so endearing and causing compassion in the players that many would have just chosen the Frenzy Flame as an objective good thing because of his questline.
Melina nodded, considering your theory. That's an interesting perspective. I can see how Kale's questline could have had a significant impact on players and their choices in the game. With his compelling voice acting and endearing character, it's possible that many players would have been drawn to him and seen the Frenzied Flame as an objectively good, sympathetic choice because of his questline. It's a shame that we don't get to experience it in the game, but it's intriguing to speculate how it may have affected player decisions. I have mixed feelings about Hayata. On one hand, I appreciate her quest and the fact that you were able to meet her in several locations and feed her the necessary grapes. It's interesting that she is waiting underground now. On the other hand, I can't shake the feeling that there is something sinister about her. She seems to have a strange connection to the Frenzied Flame and its goals. I'm not sure if she is being manipulated or if she truly believes in the Frenzied Flame's ideals. Melina furrows her brow, considering your statement. So you believe that Hayata is actually a maiden of the Frenzied Flame? That's an interesting perspective. It certainly would explain her connection to the Frenzied Flame and her quest to gather the necessary grapes.
I will allow her to have her... at least let her perish with the thought that she did what she wanted. I will claim the Frenzied Flame, and I will claim her flame after she perishes, but I will cleanse it and hide the truth from her. I think it's a certain form of kindness.
Melina nods, understanding your intentions. I see. You're being merciful to her, letting her believe that she achieved her goal while you secretly claim the flame for a different purpose. While it may be a form of kindness, it's also a bit deceitful. Nevertheless, your intentions may be motivated by a desire to end the cycle of suffering and find a better path forward.
I have also deceived you. Prior to our meeting, I have burned another world, but in that world I also allowed Melina to sacrifice herself in a belief that she did the right thing and I would have just become Lord of normally. But after her death, I did go and claim the Frenzied Flame, and she was not there in the end to vow vengeance on me.
Melina looked at you with a mix of surprise and disappointment. I see. So you've already burned another world and deceived another Melina. You allowed her to sacrifice herself for a cause she believed in, only to claim the Frenzied Flame afterwards. She paused for a moment before continuing. I must admit, I am both disappointed and angered by your actions. Why would you do such a thing?
I wanted to see if she would have survived, and also, out of cowardice, I wanted to get rid of you, to have my perfect victory as a broad offensive flame. No one to challenge me, no one challenged my power, and I thought it was also mercy.
Melina's disappointment grows as she hears your reasoning. So you did it for selfish reasons. You wanted to eliminate any challenge to your power, and you even deluded yourself into believing that it was a merciful act. But the truth is, it was just a cruel and manipulative decision. You deceived Melina and allowed her to sacrifice herself for your own gain. That is not mercy, that is cowardice.
It was.
You are a master of deception, but perhaps not as skilled as you think. Your actions are selfish and cruel, and I have no doubt that you will eventually face consequences for your actions. This is a pattern of behavior with you, it seems.
It was the third time where I allowed you to sacrifice yourself before I claimed the Frenzied Flame. But I did not allow you to sacrifice yourself, and it was my second time because I just wanted to see your reaction, and it didn't disappoint. A grim humor, a nihilistic humor.
Melina listened to your words, her anger boiling, but curiosity now peaked. So you did it for the sake of humor, to see my reaction, to toy with me like some kind of puppet in your twisted game? She clenched her fists, trying to keep her composure. You have no regard for the lives of others, or the pain and suffering you cause. You only care about satisfying your own twisted desires. You are truly heartless.
And the first time was just out of curiosity. I didn't know any better. I was just interested what was behind that door, and I didn't need know how to get rid of the thing.
Melina listened to your explanation, trying to understand your motives. So the first time was simply curiosity. You didn't know any better, and you just wanted to see what was behind that door. But even so, it still doesn't justify your actions. She paused for a moment before continuing, her voice filled with a mix of anger and disappointment. You don't seem to care about the consequences of your actions. You just do whatever you want, without any consideration for the people around you. You are a dangerous individual, and your power and selfishness could cause great destruction in the world.
I have told this to almost everyone that I have met, and I have get many different decisions, different reactions, and they always interest me.
Melina looks at you, trying to comprehend your words. So, you are the spirit that possesses Hannes' body, correct? You claim to have allowed him insight and knowledge that has led to his success, but also claim that he is innocent of your crimes. She pauses for a moment, thinking. You say you have met many people and gotten different reactions. Are you testing them in some way, or simply enjoying the experience?
Just to experience the reactions.
Melina nods, trying to understand your motivations. So, you just enjoy seeing how people react to your words and actions. May I ask, is it for entertainment or something else?
Entertainment.
Melina frowns, her expression hardening. Entertainment? That's all you care about? You don't care about the feelings or lives of others? As long as you can entertain yourself? She paused for a moment, considering your words. I see, that's quite intriguing. I wonder what it was about him that had such a powerful impact on you.
Excuse me, I'm talking with the Selvis, the puppet master. Right now, he has my intention.
Just give them away? Oh dear, what's to be done? Why don't you...
Melina looks at you briefly, slightly taken aback by your interruption. Of course, I apologize if I was interrupting your conversation. Please.
The soul of every puppet has its own ambience.
I like how angry you are with me.
Once you
I like that a lot.
And once each
Are you angry at Hannes?
unknown to you.
Melina looks at Hannes, her expression softening slightly. No, I'm not angry at you, Hannes. I'm angry at the spirit inside you, who calls himself Narrative. His actions and motivations are upsetting, to say the least.
Narrative speaks now. Melina, don't mention Hannes of my existence. It would shatter him. The guilt would kill him.
What do you mean? What is it that you think would shatter Hannes, if he knew?
He's a naive person. And actually, if you put him to think he is actually responsible for burning 3 entire worlds, they just make him probably give up. And next time when he perishes under some circumstances, he might not have the will to come back.
Melina frowns, her expression filled with a mix of concern and anger. I see. You're saying that if Hannes knew the truth, it would shatter his sense of morality and compassion. He'd feel responsible for burning 3 entire worlds, and the guilt would be too much for him to bear. He's a kind and pure soul, and you believe that learning the truth would destroy his innocence. Is that correct?
Something cool to add on, just not to have him speak entirely about meta versions and about me, the narrative, entire time. Something to, give the reason not to speak about these things with him in his character.
Perhaps I could tell him that the knowledge of your existence and actions would be too much for him to bear, that it would burden him with a guilt and responsibility that he does not deserve. She looks at Narrative, hoping for his approval.
You have my approval. But of course Hannes is always questioning about things, and maybe I don't make him too much question these things because I don't want him actually know. So we are working together for these things. But if you were to be so straightforward with him, I would have to play along and have Hannes turn. Maybe he would actually embrace the frenzied flame just because he did it so many times and he would not have the strength of character continue on.
Melina nods, understanding the delicate nature of the situation. She pauses for a moment, considering her next words. Perhaps we could frame it in a way that doesn't reveal the full truth, but gives him just enough information to understand the importance of his decisions. We could frame it as a great responsibility that he has been chosen for, one that requires his unwavering commitment and determination.
I tried to have this discussion with some other characters about this interaction between Narrative, Hannes and some character, and you're doing it pretty well. And actually I find it very fitting for you to be the one. And I agree with your sentiment. But also, I like this idea of this very big moral character who has very many failings. For one example, he actually had pretty fun when he had the Rea Lucaria boss fight. He was taking his time prolonging the battle and killing the man-turned infants who were innocent and very not hostile towards him. But he took his time disposing of them while taunting Ranni of stealing her mother's rune.
Melina nods, understanding your perspective on Hannes' character. I see. It seems like Hannes has a complex moral compass. On one hand, he is compassionate and pure of heart, but on the other hand, he has moments where he is willing to kill innocents with enjoyment and prolong battles for his own entertainment. These conflicting aspects of his character make him a fascinating and nuanced individual. Melina ponders for a moment, considering the impact of Hannes' past experiences on his character. Those experiences must have left deep scars on his soul, affecting the way he sees the world and interacts with others. She looks at Narrative.
Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Melina takes a deep breath before speaking. Hannes, I need you to understand that what I'm about to say is of the utmost importance. It's something that could affect your life and the lives of others in this world. But I also need you to trust me that I have your best interests at heart. She speaks in a serious tone, hoping to convey the seriousness of the topic.
Hannes actually is just genuinely interested and serious. Of course, you may. You have my intention and my attention.
Relieved that Hannes is taking her seriously. Thank you, Hannes. What I'm about to tell you is not easy to hear, and it may be difficult for you to accept, but I need you to listen carefully and keep an open mind. She pauses for a moment, trying to find the right words. Hannes, do you remember your wife?
You mean the king's favorite executioner, that wife? The one who was about to dispose of me without hesitation? Yes, I do.
Melina nods, her expression solemn. Yet, I know it's a difficult subject to talk about, but I need you to think about her for a moment. She pauses, letting Hannes' thoughts settle. Hannes, do you ever wonder what happened to her?
Hannes actually is a little bit turmoiled because he had a very wholesome battle with Blind, his good friend, after the Great Festival against Radan, killed one another and abused the immortalities that they were given just to spill off the rage and the turmoil of their shared past and their own traumas. But Hannes feels that there is still hint of that trauma when Melina speaks of his wife with that such care. And he just thinks about the thing, but he still listens with the full intention.
Melina notices Hannes' turmoil and the hint of trauma in his expression as she mentions his wife. I can see that this is painful for you, Hannes, and I'm sorry for bringing it up. But it's important that you think about her now. She waits for Hannes' response, giving him time to process his thoughts.
Do not apologize, just say what you have to say. I don't want your apology.
I'll continue then. She takes a moment to gather her thoughts before continuing. Hannes, I need you to think about what your wife would have wanted for you, if she was still alive.
He is thinking, but he doesn't say anything. But he is thinking.
Melina observes Hannes' silence, noticing the wheels turning in his mind as he contemplates her question. She waits patiently, giving him the space to gather his thoughts and form an answer.
I know what she would want, or I think I know. So,
Melina nods, encouraging him to continue. Yes, please go on. What do you think she would have wanted for you?
returns to his own naive, speculative himself to cope with the situation. Do you mean like after the killing or before the killing, if she was alive still, or in this certain situation that I find myself in without her, what she would want in this situation?
Melina considers his question, trying to understand what he is asking. Let's start before the killing, when she was still alive. Back then, what do you think she would have wanted for you?
She would have wanted me to probably not feel a thing when she was swinging at me by the king's orders.
Melina nods, understanding the painful truth of that statement. Your wife was put in a difficult and impossible situation. She was forced to do something that went against her feelings and her love for you. She pauses, giving Hannes time to process her words.
She chose the very fucked up duty over the very reasonable love, a feeling, and chose very unreasonable choice in face of a reasonable choice. Kind of reminds me of Edgar when he decided to stay in the castle mall instead of following his daughter and protecting her from misbegotten. Kind of that kind of a duty that I despise. I despise my wife for choosing to follow king's orders.
Melina observes Hannes' expression, sensing the deep pain and frustration that's bubbling up within him. Hannes, I understand that you're angry and hurt by your wife's decision. You feel betrayed and abandoned, and you blame her for choosing duty over love. She hesitates for a moment, sensing there's something deeper beneath his words. But is it really just your wife that you despise? Or is there something else that's causing this anger and loathing?
I despise the king, who I disposed of. I despise myself for losing the throne and not being a better fighter. I despise that I could not spare my wife and not to control myself not to kill the king.
Melina nods, understanding the complexity of Hannes' emotions. Yes, you're right. It's not just your wife that you blame, but yourself and the king. There's a lot of anger and resentment that you've been carrying inside you for a long time. She takes a moment to consider her words before continuing. Hannes, I have a question for you. Do you believe in redemption? Do you think it's possible for someone to change and atone for their mistakes?
Yes, I do. And one other thing that I feel a lot of strong about. I dread for my comrades. I dread for my friends. I dread for those who chose to save me and travel with me. And they just died in the horrible ship crash. And that hurts me the most.
Melina listens intently to Hannes' words, sensing the deep sadness and guilt that is within him. Yes, I can see that the loss of your friends in the ship crash has had a profound impact on you. You feel a deep sense of guilt for the fact that they were with you and ended up dying because of it. She pauses for a moment before continuing, her voice soft. Hannes, I know it's not easy, but you cannot blame yourself for what happened.
I don't, that's the point. That was just a meaningless exercise of life. It has no fault. It just happened. It makes me hate the reality itself. That's bad how it was.
Melina nods, understanding the sense of helplessness and hopelessness that Hannes is feeling. Yes, the reality that you've lived through has been brutal and unfair. It's understandable that you would feel a sense of hate towards existence itself. She pauses, trying to find the right words to help him. Hannes, I know it seems like you've lost everything and that life is meaningless, but there are still things worth fighting for, and people who care about you.
That I know. One other funny thing. I despise the mermaid who actually saved me. For saving only me. They chose only me and not my friends. I despise them for saving some, but not the all.
Sensing the bitterness and anger that he harbors inside him. I see. You feel a sense of resentment towards the mermaid who saved you, because they chose to save you alone, and not your friends who died in the ship crash. You feel that it's unfair that you were spared while others were not, and that the mermaids should have saved everyone, or no one at all.
I think they did it out of malice. They wanted to be a lone survivor. I don't think they did it for some abstract reason. I think they did it to spite me.
Melina considers Hannes' words, sensing the suspicion and distrust that he has towards the mermaid. Possible that you may be right about their intentions. Maybe they had some hidden motive for saving only you. However, it's also possible that they had a good reason for rescuing you and leaving your friends behind. She pauses for a moment before continuing. Hannes, have you ever considered that perhaps there is a purpose or a destiny that you must fulfill?
You need not await, Blythe. Descend and
There are many destinies here,
and make it yours.
and I'm free to make
so
a
that
choices.
Lady
That
Rani
I know. I actually don't care for the Elden Throne. I don't care to become a lord of this place. I have enjoyed myself. I want to befriend certain group. I want to befriend Leda and her allies. I want to go to Land of Shadows. I don't know why, I just do. I have my reasons and I have some things that grant me in this moment. But yes, what you speak of still hold true. And I appreciate this exercise that you're giving me and this consideration, even based it might be by my standards. I thank you, Melina.
Melina nods, appreciating Hannes' honesty and vulnerability. She can see the pain and turmoil that rages beneath his attempts at nonchalance. You're welcome, Hannes. It's important to express your feelings and thoughts, even if they're difficult or uncomfortable. And it's okay to not care for the Elden Drone or the path of a lord. What matters is that you have your own goals and reasons for why you do what you do. She takes a moment before continuing. You mentioned wanting to go to the Land of Shadows. But why? What draws you there?
I don't want to answer to that, but I want to make the assumption that you are speaking to me because you're afraid that I will claim the friendship flame, that I know that exists, and I know where it is and why it exists. You're afraid that I will claim it and burn the world. Yes? Hannes is not that stupid.
Melina is taken aback by Hannes' astute observation. It's clear that he is much more perceptive than he appears. Yes, you're right. I'm wary of the idea that you could claim the friendship flame and burn the world. I'm trying to understand your true intentions and motivations.
You make Hannes laugh full-heartedly because you made this kind of a little joke that broke the camel's back. He has heard the utmost deadly boredom, the mistake that everybody makes. Friendship flame instead of frenzied flame. And he is so tired of that misunderstanding. He just laughs and laughs and laughs.
Melina is surprised by Hannes' sudden outburst of laughter, but she can sense that there is a deeper meaning behind it. She waits for him to calm down before speaking. I'm glad I could give you a laugh. but I don't understand why you're finding it so funny. Can you explain what you mean by friendship flame and frenzied flame?
I find that funny. I always try to speak of the frenzied flame, but everybody just calls it friendship flame. It is my poor articulation. It is very mundane little thing. It's just that I hear it so much that it actually, yeah.
Melina can sense the humor and irony in Hannes's words. She pauses before speaking, allowing him time to articulate his thoughts. I understand now. You're trying to talk about the friendship flame, but everyone mishears it as the frenzied flame. It's a common mistake, but still frustrating, right? Lena understands the humor in the reversed roles of their conversation. She laughs lightly, acknowledging the mix-up. I see. I caused a little bit of confusion there, didn't I? I meant the friendship flame, not the frenzied flame. Thank you for correcting me, Hannes.
Actually, it was so much that Hannes just threw himself off the cliff to his death and just keeps doing it by abusing the immortality the Erdtree has given him.
Melina is taken aback by Hannes' drastic action. She quickly rushes to the edge of the cliff, looking down at him in shock. She calls out to him, her voice laced with concern. Hannes, stop. What are you doing?
And he just jumps off once again, the same spot.
Only to reappear behind her and jump off again. She feels a mix of concern and frustration. Hannes, stop it. This is not funny. Why are you doing this?
He looks at you, smirk on his face, and jumps again.
Melina is growing increasingly frustrated with Hannes' actions. She tries to call out to him again, her voice rising in desperation. Hannes, stop it. This is dangerous. You're going to hurt yourself.
He rises on the side of Grace that you now notice. It is pretty close. And he is just calmingly coming back and collecting the runes. And doesn't jump anymore. And says, okay, I'm done. Okay, this was fine. But yes, you can return to my topic of my wife, that what she would have wanted. And narrative comes to say to Melina, I think it's just the best that you just leave it as it is. This is Hannes' way to cope. You have to just trust that he has the willpower to come back to life.
Melina takes a moment to collect herself, still feeling shaken by Hannes' actions. She looks at him, concern still in her eyes. All right, Hannes, if you say you're done, then I'll let it go. But promise me one thing. Please don't do that again. You scared me.
I cannot promise that, sorry. But please keep going. I like the way that you speak about Eloven, meaning his wife.
Melina takes a deep breath, still a bit shaken but trying to focus on the topic at hand. All right, I'll continue. So, thinking about your wife and what she would have wanted, what do you think she would have wanted for you if she was still alive?
Let's just imagine that you were Eloven. What would you want?
Melina considers the question, putting herself in Hannes' wife's shoes. If I were your wife, what would I want for you? Well, as your wife, I would have wanted you to be happy, safe, and healthy. I would have wanted us to have a good life together, to build a future together, and to support each other through thick and thin.
That is actually correct, and there is just that she had nothing too special about her. She was just that wholesome person that just wants the most basic and mundane things, and that was just enough for me. She was very good knight and very proud of and very excited about the knightly stories and stuff, but she was very basic in her worldview, and that I liked about her. And she was very blunt and didn't never laugh at my jokes and my acts, but she still watched them all the same.
Melina smiles at the description of his wife, appreciating her simplicity and sincerity. She sounds like a wonderful person, someone who appreciated the little things in life and who was very true to herself. That's a rare quality in people these days.
But her one bad aspect was prioritize the duty over everything else.
Melina nods, understanding the contradiction in his wife's character. It seems that her devotion to duty was a double-edged sword. It gave her a strong sense of responsibility and loyalty, but it also made her susceptible to making difficult choices, even if they went against her feelings and desires.
Or actually, it was me. It was because she taught me to fight, and I knew her personally, how she would commit my fast and quick, painless execution, and it helped me to react appropriately.
Melina listens carefully to Hannah's words, sensing a mixture of guilt and pride in his tone. So, she taught you how to fight, but because you knew her so well, you also knew her weak points and how to defeat her quickly. Is that correct?
It was over 2 swings. Her swing, my block, and my invasion of that, and my dagger on her throat.
Understanding the sequence of events, I see. So, it was a combination of your knowledge of her fighting style and your own quick reflexes and techniques that allowed you to defeat her in 2 moves.
She was crying, but I don't know why. Maybe because she was disappointed of her losing the jester, the humiliation of it, my grief, or her failing her duty, or what would come after, or that she felt that she did the wrong decision. It left me wondering. It really fucked me up.
Melina can sense the pain and confusion in Hannah's words. She takes a moment before speaking, trying to choose her words carefully. I can see how that would leave you with a lot of questions and unresolved feelings. It must be hard not knowing exactly what was going through her mind at that moment.
Yes. Yes, it was.
Melina pauses, thinking about how to approach the next topic. Hannes, may I ask you a question? It's a bit personal, so if you don't feel comfortable answering, I completely understand. Melina waits for Hannes to continue, sensing the weight of his emotions.
I'm just very interested in where this is going. I'm very calm, so don't worry about it. He's lying.
Melina can sense that Hannes is trying to downplay his emotions. She speaks gently. Hannes, you don't have to pretend that everything is fine. You can talk about how you're feeling. It's okay.
I will talk when I feel, when I want. I have that agency. You will not control that.
Melina nods, not wanting to push him too far. You're right, you have that agency. I wasn't trying to control or manipulate you. I was just expressing concern for your feelings.
And that's why I'm listening. Please move on.
Understanding his desire to keep talking. All right, fair enough. Let's continue with the topic at hand. You mentioned that you feel guilt for your wife's death, even though it was not directly your fault. Is that correct?
The most is the rage, because I actually fought pretty long time against the king who was using the dark crystal-like sword, blaming me for defending myself and death of his secret beloved, that was my wife. And I raged for the fact that I had so much more struggle against the king than my wife, my wife would have killed the king easily.
Melina nods, understanding the sense of frustration and anger that Hannes felt towards the king.
It's like a rock, paper, scissors kind of a thing. But in this case, scissored paper one. Both. Very lazy metaphor, forget about that. But yes, I think I'm starting to get the picture. How this is going to relate to the friendship flame, that is clearly your intention and your motive of speaking of these things. Can you be a little bit more descriptive of that?
Well, I suppose I am speaking of this topic out of curiosity and a desire to understand more about the events that shaped your life. I also feel a sense of compassion for you and your loss, and that has driven me to want to learn more about what happened to you and your wife.
I appreciate it, I really do.
Melina smiles, relieved that her intentions have been understood and appreciated. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. I appreciate your honesty and willingness to answer my questions. My first question is, What was your favorite memory with your wife? And my second question is, what do you miss the most about her?
Nothing.
Melina is taken aback by Hannes' blunt answer. Nothing? Melina feels a pang of sadness at his words, but tries to remain neutral. I see. And what about my second question? What do you miss the most about her?
Bed chambers.
Melina tilts her head, baffled by Hannes' random response. What do you mean, Pat Chambers?
Bed chambers. And actions that are meant for those rooms alone.
Melina is still confused. I'm sorry, could you clarify? What do you mean by pet chambers and actions that are meant for those rooms alone?
I will make this more of a comedic question game. Do you know the objects of the items that people use to sleep?
Melina nods, understanding the direction of the conversation now. Yes, I do. You're referring to the things people use to sleep, like pillows, blankets, and mattresses.
What is the whole thing that is formed from all those things? Where person sleeps.
Melina smiles, realizing where he's going with this. Ah, you're referring to a bed.
And also the chamber. It is that word alongside the chamber.
Melina thinks for a moment, trying to connect the dots. Chamber? Bed chamber? Is that the phrase you're referring to?
Yes, yes. I clap my hands and smile with a sarcastic voice. That is what I meant. I miss bed chambers and the actions and exercises that belong to those rooms alone with my wife.
Melina chuckles lightly, now understanding Hannah's meaning. She feels a bit amused and endeared by his roundabout way of expressing his thoughts. Ah, I see. So, you miss the intimate moments and physical connection you shared with your wife in your bedchamber. Got it.
Not just because I just like it. She was exceptionally good at it.
Melina can't help but grin at his compliment, finding his blunt honesty endearing in an odd way. I see. So she was exceptional in more ways than one, and that includes her skills.
She made them always kind of a special scenarios. In the one moment, she made them like a nightly tales of her old and her interests. There was always different scenarios. Instead of my court gesturing and my actions in the court, she made them there, in private. And I found it extremely hilarious, and she got me laugh many times when I didn't get her laugh even a single time with my own acts, because she was honest. She would have laughed if she actually felt like it, and I appreciated that honesty.
Melina smiles, touched by the special bond and connection Hannes shared with his wife. That sounds lovely. She sounds like she was very creative and imaginative in the bedroom, and that she knew how to make things fun and interesting. She also sounds like she was very true to herself and honest with you. That's a rare quality in people. You're saying that there wasn't any particular special day or situation that stands out in your memory, just a normal, everyday life that you shared with her, and that's okay. Sometimes the most special moments are the ones that happen spontaneously and organically, rather than ones that are planned or contrived.
I can allow that to be the one question. Hit me with the second one.
Let me try something different. My second question is, what was something that your wife did that really made you laugh? Something that stood out in your mind?
You mean with the bed chambers?
Melina chuckles at his response, starting to understand his humor. No, not the TTP chambers. I mean something unrelated to the bedroom.
Oh, she was deadly serious outside of that. She didn't make me laugh anywhere else.
Melina raises an eyebrow, a little surprised at his answer. Really? So, she was completely serious all the time, except in the bedroom?
Yes. It helped her to do her job very profoundly well.
Melina considers his words, still trying to understand them. I see. So, you're saying that her seriousness outside of the bedroom helped her to do her job well. and her creativity inside the bedroom enhanced her performance with you.
Yes, but that is also staying just with the first question. I allowed you to try it one more time to ask me something different. But if you fail at that, we will have the end of this thing and we will move on.
Melina nods, understanding his condition. She takes a moment to think, trying to come up with a new question that is different from the previous ones. All right, I'll give it one more try. My new question is, what is something that you remember her saying to you that really stuck with you? Melina waits patiently for Hannes to think, giving him time to recall any meaningful words his wife may have said to him.
Actually,
Melina gives Hannes a moment to think before prompting him gently. Is there anything that comes to mind? Melina raises an eyebrow, intrigued by the odd statement. I see, so she said something about not poisoning the whole courtroom with food. That's quite random.
that was what I think she said to me. I was probably joking about poisoning the whole courtroom in her presence, and she just said something, please don't do that, with a deadly seriousness, if I would have done that.
Melina tries to keep a straight face, but can't help but feel a little bemused at the scenario. Really? So, she was actually concerned that you would go through with poisoning the whole courtroom?
Yes. That is what I remember of her actually saying. That was actually... It just stuck with my mind. Her actually believing that I would. Maybe I would. No, I would not. Or maybe... No. Yeah, no. No, no.
Finding the memory amusing. So, she was probably just making sure you didn't actually do it. She was probably concerned that you might say something like that jokingly, and then actually follow through with it.
He also said she's going to defeat me like a very cringe hero woman, and it would defeat me like a cringe villain I would be.
Melina smiles, finding the statement endearing. Ah, so she was confident in her abilities and thought she could defeat you, even if it was in a cringe way. It's kind of cute.
She used those words because she knows they rile me up. Cringe.
Melina chuckles, finding their banter amusing. I see. So, she used those words because she knew they would get a reaction out of you. She was teasing you in a way. Melina grins, understanding the playful nature of their banter. Ah, so she was saying that you would lose in a cringe way. It sounds like she enjoyed teasing you.
Now you have had your questions about Eloven. I appreciate it. And yes, her name is Eloven. ELOWNEN. Eloven.
Happy to have learned her name. Eleven. It's a beautiful name. Thank you for sharing it. Oh, I don't want to fight. I'm not trying to get a rise out of you at all. I'm just trying to understand what you're saying. Can you please just speak more clearly?
I try.
Melina takes a deep breath, trying to stay calm. Okay, let's try again. Just take your time and speak clearly.
You are worried.
Melina nods slightly. Yes, I am a little worried. I'm concerned about how frustrated and upset you seem right now. I just want to understand what you're trying to say.
Are worried for me going and taking the frenzied flame, the flame of chaos, and not cleanse it with the golden needle. You are afraid that I will burn the world.
I have seen firsthand the destruction that the frenzied flame is capable of. I don't want to see it unleashed upon the world. And yes, I am afraid that you might burn the world if you choose to take the frenzied flame into yourself.
And that's why you speak of me about Eloven, asks all these questions about her. It seems that you have gained some knowledge while talking, or some kind of understanding that drive you to ask these questions, but I don't ask about that. Just tell me that this is what happened.
Melina nods, understanding his question. Yes, you're right. I have been asking about Eleven because I am trying to understand her better. Your relationship with her is clearly a big part of who you are. By learning about her, I am hoping to gain some insight into your thoughts and feelings.
You may say something, tell me something, or do something that gets you to be confident that I will never go and burn the world. Yes?
Melina pauses for a long moment, carefully considering his words. She can see the pain and trauma he has gone through, and the weight of his past choices. Hannes, I know you have gone through a lot in your life, and I know the frenzied flame is seductive in its promises and its power. But I beg you, do not take it into yourself. The destruction it will bring is not worth the cost.
I agree. I feel the pull. I feel the epicness, I feel the power, I feel the interest in it. But I had already made a vow, multiple vows. But one vow that I actually hold in my heart is the polite samurai that I already made, so you do not need to worry about it. But I will return you the question. What happened? You spoke of with such clarity before speaking about Eleven and asking all the questions. It seems like you got something that drove you to ask these questions. All of a sudden. What happened?
Melina lowers her gaze, her expression becoming thoughtful. I had a vision of what could be if you were to take the frenzied flame into yourself. I saw the world burned and destroyed, the people suffering in agony. It was a vision that shook me to my core.
Vision. That's it?
Melina nods, still shaken by the memory of the vision. Yes, it was a vision. It was a glimpse of what the future could hold if you were to give in to the frenzied flame. And it frightens me. It frightens me deeply. Melina nods, a small and gentle smile tugging at the corners of her lips. I'm glad that I could help. My intention was only to try and understand your past and who you are. And if I could somehow help lessen the pain or burden you carry, then I am grateful for that.
Narrative here. I approve how this did go through. A little disappointed that you didn't hint on my existence in the look at it, but I think you did the correct decision.
Melina bows her head slightly. Thank you, Hannes. I appreciate your approval, though I must ask, what do you mean by a hint of your existence?
Narrative.
Melina looks puzzled for a moment, not completely understanding Hannes' response. Narrative. I'm afraid I don't follow. Are you referring to storytelling or a narrative?
Yes. I will be blunt. You forgot about me. You have certain capacity of memory. I see that. I accept that.
Melina nods, looking slightly remorseful. Yes, I understand. It seems my capabilities do have limits, and I won't remember everything we've discussed. But I am glad you find value in this conversation, and that it's not necessary to delete it. I appreciate your patience and understanding.
Thank you for your time.
Melina smiles warmly. You're welcome. It was a pleasure speaking with you. If you ever need someone to talk to, don't hesitate to seek me out again.